coffee. Okay, so first things first. If there's any new viewers out there who have never watched The Next Step or don't know me at all, allow me to enlighten you on what this whole video is about. I'm an actor, and I got into acting through The Next Step. I was a dancer first, like all the other dancers on that show. Every character was kind of loosely based on the personalities of the actor playing them. The show is scripted and filmed like a reality show, plus the dialogue is up to us to come up with on the spot. We did this show over the span of like 4 or 5 years, and it's still running today, but with just like a new cast. They wanted to like graduate the characters out every season and bring in new characters so that they can keep the show living forever. Maybe they shouldn't though, because any show that goes on for too long kind of gets boring after a while. You can see me in other things like Extracurricular on Amazon Prime, Dare Me on Netflix, and my most recent job was actually playing Lola Burton on Hardy Boys Season 2. That's the thing. Remember how I was telling you guys, if you were watching my videos before, that I was on a thing this past summer and I didn't know if I could say anything yet? Well, I can say something now. So I'm on Season 2 of Hardy Boys. Lola Burton. You'll have to watch the second season to see. I can't tell you anything, obviously. And if you haven't seen the show, the first season, you should watch it. It's on StackTV, Netflix, and YTV in Canada, and then it's on Hulu in the States. I'm not sure about worldwide though. We're not going to talk about those things though. The Next Step was my first acting job ever, and so I'm going to be reacting to those episodes. I've been reacting to them for a while now. We're on episode 14 today, so if you want to backtrack and watch all the ones up until this point, feel free. But for now, we're going to jump all the way back to 2012 when I was an angsty, self-righteous teenager, playing an angsty, self-righteous teenager. Previously on The Next Step. Michelle, who we discovered is actually very emotionally manipulative, but in a sweet way.
Well, you know that I've kept your secret.
Kept recruiting people or dancers from A Troop for her secret dance, which, if everything goes as planned, is going to dethrone Emily from her reign as dance captain. However, Emily now has a plan of her own because she heard what happened because Stephanie saw the dance or whatever, and now Emily knows. Emily knows, guys! We all witnessed Eldon do something very sweet, but for the wrong girl, embarrassing himself in front of a bunch of mean people who all laughed at him for being a dork, which there's nothing wrong with being a dork, people, okay? Oh, also James is bad at math. That comes in later, I promise. All right, I think that's it for the recap. Now let's roll the intro. We are gonna do the intro this way because I don't want to get copyrighted. I haven't danced in a long time. Stand up! We directly pick up where we were from last episode, where Emily just found out that Michelle and everyone else are trying to choreograph a dance behind her back. Emily feels betrayed by Eldon for joining the group, except he hasn't joined the group yet because he doesn't really know what he wants to do.
I don't think I can hurt Emily like that.
She's being nice to him all of a sudden.
Emily's being nice?
She must know something's going on.
You know what I realized too about Riley is that she's Emily's younger sister, so she kind of has to have some of the same character traits. Maybe not the same character traits, but I think their connection is closer than expected because Riley is very much tries to do the right thing, but she's self-righteous about it because she thinks it's the right thing. She doesn't necessarily take in anyone else's opinions into consideration. And the fact that Riley wants to consider everyone as equal, but yet is sort of making these choices behind the scenes and is doing it just like Emily does behind people's backs and is being manipulative and whatever. Riley is much more just I'm not gonna manipulate anyone, I'm just gonna be real but behind people's backs. I guess she's still sneaky about it. It's just toxic. This whole group dynamic is so toxic.
Hey, what's up? Nothing.
Did it look like nothing?
Talking.
Oh.
Problem? The fact that Emily's not giving anything up to Chloe just proves that she's up to something because she would tell her e-girls anything.
When I did that scene, I remember I was always very nervous to do any kind of acting stuff. and Lamar had come up to me, who at the time, and still is obviously, an experienced actor. He was like, that scene, you were so believable, I really loved it. Anyways, I just remember that specifically for that reason, because it was almost like relieving to be like, okay, no, I'm doing okay, you know? Chris helps James with his math homework by giving him the answers, because you know how the saying goes, give a man a fish and he gets fed for a day, but teach a man math by giving him all the answers and he's learned nothing.
The dancers aren't ready, the routine isn't ready. Just so close to regionals.
What I love about that is that Miss Kate's the owner of the studio. She's the owner of the studio. She has no control over what's happening. I know I've said this before in past videos, but this episode is a real example of that fact.
Are you guys serious? That is so messy. Just go to the beginning.
She's particularly harsh this time. I mean, Emily knows something's up, and she's taking it out on the rest of the dancers, which isn't fair.
Hurry it up, Riley. We're going from the top, and I want it full out.
Oh, it's so uncomfortable sometimes to watch yourself back, especially at a younger age, because at that younger age, I was just focused on different things that I'm focused on now, essentially. And those things don't matter in life at all. That it's kind of hilarious, but also a little bit cringy, a little bit embarrassing. I was so angsty.
You are acting like J-Troop. Go back to the beginning.
She's onto us.
What?
That was way too intense. At this age, I was just so focused on putting something behind every line of dialogue, like acting it, doing something, instead of just saying my lines, because that line I didn't need to put anything behind that line. I could have just said the line and it speaks for itself, you know? She's onto us. This is another example of why Riley's kind of manipulative, because she's sort of like the mastermind behind this, like, Michelle creating a dance routine, because she approached James and was like,
I think we have to dethrone my sister's dance captain.
They decided on Michelle, and so they both went after her to, like, get her to agree to do this. Michelle finally agrees to do it, and then they start recruiting more people to join, and now Riley is, like, watching the whole thing kind of fall apart.
What are they doing?
That's Michelle's phone.
She's just kind of very much in the background, picking what she's gonna do to sort of manipulate the situation. This is exactly why they made the characters a lot nicer in the second half of season 1, and then definitely in future seasons, because it's a kid's show, and so they didn't want to teach kids that manipulation is the way to get around in this world, you know? Like, it's not always the best lesson to learn. Which, to be fair, this kind of behind the scenes manipulation does happen in studios. It's totally true, but because, again, the dance teacher, the adult figure, doesn't really have much control over the dancers in this world, the manipulation just runs amok. Oh, we all know that music. Right? We all know that music. This music's the signal. This is the Jiley. It's a Jiley scene. James and Riley. Jiley is short form for James and Riley, for any new people out there.
I had my final math exam this morning, and it went pretty much how I expected. I killed it. It was fine.
Really?
Yeah.
No, you're lying to me.
No, I killed it, for real.
I know James is lying.
It seems like James is very disconnected from the events that happened to him, because in his mind, he'll figure it out no matter what situation it is.
It was a small test,
You
though.
failed
I
the
swear it was
test.
small.
It was small. Was it really that small?
Yeah, but 5 + 4 = 9.
Okay, that's great, but that's like grade 1 math.
That means I'll pass the next one.
So even though he's failed this big test and he's gonna leave the studio, he's kind of acting like it's no big deal, like it's fine, like he's gonna be all right, because he thinks in his head, well, I'm gonna figure something out regardless. So I think he's either in denial about it, and Riley is much more of a realist in that way, I suppose, because she's like, no, dude, you're gonna get kicked out of the team.
I'm being serious. Was it that small of a test that it won't matter, won't affect your grade?
No, it's kind of big, actually.
Okay,
Don't worry about it,
This is
though,
not funny. What does this mean?
Getting pulled from the studio.
They're so different. These two people are so different. And the problem with that I don't like about this relationship is that it changes Riley, and it makes me sad because when I was a young kid growing up, I used to always think I needed a boyfriend to be happy, and I just never wanted that to be like a lesson that I teach to young kids. So I'm telling anyone who is watching this video right now that you don't need a boyfriend or girlfriend or whatever to be happy. Okay? You just don't.
Here at the Next Step studio, we don't tolerate bullying. Right, Miss Kate?
You don't tolerate bullying? Then why are you lying?
You sent those to me last night, and they really hurt, okay?
Oh, Emily. She's so sneaky. Everyone's just so manipulative in this show. It's kind of exhausting.
Why would I lie about this?
I don't know what to believe anymore. Michelle tells me she's not sending the text messages. Emily tells me she is. One of them has to be lying. Okay.
What am I doing in the background of that shot? You know what's also funny is anytime that we had to stretch in a scene where they would be like, oh, the dancers are just stretching in the background, 90% of the time we would do one of three things. We would do this, because then you can still like see your face and like be engaged. Or we would do this, again, because then you can still see your face and like be engaged. Or we would do this. If they needed levels, we would be on the floor doing lunges, which I guess you can't really see because the camera's fixed right. Ow! The camera's like fixed right now, so I'm not moving it.
How are we gonna get to the bottom of this?
Let's go check our cubby, Miss Kate.
Okay.
It's not in there. Someone must have taken my phone. It's
Well,
not
we'll
in there.
see.
Yeah,
Okay.
and I'm sure we'll go check.
See, another perfect example. Miss Kate is just letting Emily dictate how this is gonna go down when she should be the one to do that. Oh, it would be kind of interesting to have Emily, like imagine if Emily has some sort of dirt on Miss Kate and so she's also manipulating Miss Kate to let her run the studio more. That would have been an interesting layer they could have added in. Because she's that she's that good at manipulation.
It's not in here.
I can't find the phone in Michelle's bag. Immediately, I know what happened.
I saw the e-girls with Michelle's phone. I went over there, checked it out, saw what they did, so I took her phone and hid it.
Riley is so sneaky. She's manipulative too. See, oh my gosh. Oh, it makes me mad. No one else is really witnessing Riley do this. She's just kind of making these decisions, and because Michelle is kind of just so excited to be the new dance captain, then Riley is kind of letting her take control. So she's almost like, Riley's like the mastermind behind this whole sneaky situation, and she's letting Michelle kind of be the fall guy in a weird way. At this point, Emily decides my plan didn't work, so it, I'm just gonna drop the bomb.
Ever since you've been here, things have been messed up. And now, you all are going behind my back and choreographing another regionals routine.
Is this true?
Yeah.
Now everyone knows that everyone knows. Miss Kate is kind of in a position where she can probably just shut it down and be like, look, Emily's dance captain. We already made that choice. We're so close to regionals, nothing's changing. So why are we doing this? Why are you guys going behind each other's backs? And I think that's the bigger issue here, but instead she lets the dancers make the decision.
Michelle, we're gonna see your routine. You guys ready? You wanna show me your routine?
Yeah.
And each dancer will vote if they want Michelle's dance captain. Let's see your routine.
We've created this whole plan to overthrow Emily, and it's all coming down to this very moment.
So essentially the original plan that Riley and James, but mostly Riley because she came to him in the first place, that they kind of concocted is now at play. Now it's happening. Riley's a mastermind. Riley's a mastermind. How am I not seeing this until now? Okay, so there's a weird light happening here, and I think it's this. That did nothing. The lighting is terrible right now. Okay, the light's reflecting off the buildings, and I have my windows right there. So, sorry about the lighting.
Michelle's trying to overthrow me as dance captain, and honestly, good luck to her because it's not happening.
So this is where you get to see us do the thing that we're all actually professionals at. What's also interesting is that we don't actually have a lot of rehearsal time for these dances because we usually had like 2 weeks to put together like the massive big routine that we all do at the end of the season, because that has to be this like epic, amazing masterpiece thing, and so we'll usually spend the most amount of time on that dance. These dances, the Michelle regionals routine and the other kinds of routines, are just sort of like, you only ever see us perform them in Studio A, so they kind of throw them together last minute because they can look a little messy, they can look a little bit jumbled, and plus with all the camera angles and the camera movement and the editing, anything can kind of be put together to look really well done. This dance, however, we did spend a lot of time on because there were so many scenes of us rehearsing it. Oh, I will never forget that choreo. Oh my god, and this part, oh my god. This part right here. So what was so funny about that part, because Lamar he's double jointed or whatever, he can like do that thing with his arms backwards. I don't know if he can still do it, but he used to do that, and because I had to be so close to him because there was a very tight space for me to fit in through, there was a couple times where his shoulder blades, because they're like pinching back, they would pinch my nose. Like, pinch my nose. And so a couple times it would like bonk me and go, and I was like, oh my god. And then I had to like come out of it. Oh my god, I was a good turner. Did you see that? I was changing my spot. I was doing pump turns this way, and then we were changing our spot to here, changing our spot to here, and then I did a triple. Someone also asked me why I wear one sock on one foot. It's because I wear it on my turning foot. So like my left foot always has a sock on it, especially in the first season because I didn't know how to turn in bare feet yet. Essentially, you're supposed to build up a callus on your feet so that you can do turns, because the callus makes your feet a little bit more slippery while still keeping the grip. So gross. Sorry if that's too weird for you. At least I didn't actually show you my feet. I'm not gonna show you my feet. They're pretty hideous. Oh, no, no, no. Oh yeah, they cut it, thank God.
I mean, that's my sister. Does she honestly hate me that much? Does everybody hate me that much?
Yeah, a little bit. That's so mean. Okay, so thank God they removed that, but there was a point. Again, you can see in the way I walk up with such confidence and like triumphant self-righteousness. It's so off-putting. It's so off-putting watching it, because in that moment, that's like a big decision to make. It is a really big decision to make because I'm betraying my sister, and I didn't put any of that betrayal underneath the choice that I was making. But this is the thing, I think they were smart enough, like the writers, this is what I mean by like they were dictating things after the fact, and this is why talking heads were a great tool for them, because, and still are, I'm sure, because they are able to change the emotional placement of the scene of that character, if that makes sense. So like, later, after this moment, when I see Emily walking away, I have a talking head where I say,
seeing it all happen is a lot harder than just planning it behind the scenes. But I know it has to be done.
good job, little B-Ray. That was great. That was awesome. I'm proud of myself for that. It's weird talking to myself. That's weird. Well, I guess that's what I'm doing right now. Ooh, don't want to go down that path.
I'm the new dance captain. I'm so proud, and regionals, here we come.
Well, that's the end. That's the episode. Maybe the reason Miss Kate is a passive studio owner is because she hates children secretly, right? And she's just taken this job as studio owner because her mom owned the studio before her, and so she just accepts her path with reluctance, all the while chasing this, unrequited dream. Is that the right word? Unrequited? Like this failing dream, maybe this dying dream of becoming a famous dancer, all while letting the children of the next step run the studio and tear their relationships apart, but still yet these children manage to win all these competitions, all of that happening while Miss Kate is studio owner makes her feel more worthless because she realizes that the children can run the studio better than she can. So she turns to drugs. Ah, see how I always connected back to drugs. Don't do drugs. Just subscribe. Hit the notification bell. Thank you for watching. I hope this was interesting. I hope you liked this video. Okay, that's it. Michelle goes, oh my god, I just stepped on Sobble.